Welcome to a SkilCheck webinet. Today's topic is tracking your marketing dollars for best results. My name is Carol Mixon-Krendl, so let's talk about marketing and tracking in self-storage. Well, it's so interesting because when you're in self-storage, you're trying to determine which marketing really works, and this is so important. And I think we always start with the website now because that is really our main focus more than what used to be the yellow pages. So now it's changed from yellow pages to website. So your main phone number should be in the yellow pages, and I really love right now this aspect of the mobile capabilities. 40% of the searches are now coming from mobile devices, and I find myself doing that too. Instead of starting the computer up, or I go right to my phone or to a tablet, and I get on a website and I look for all kinds of things, and I haven't really used a telephone book, and I can't tell you how long. My kids didn't even know what it was, which is really scary, isn't it? So, the interesting thing is also if you look at pay-per-clicks. If your company is doing pay-per-clicks, and that's where you have like a small banner ad and the customer can click on it and then go directly to wherever you're looking for, those can also have special tracking numbers that you can look for them. So also, how about social media? I think if you're doing Craigslist ad, Pinterest, Instagram, Twitter, and I do believe now you should be looking at all of these types of social media to be putting marketing ads on. Craigslist is awesome, and I think Pinterest and Instagram and those, you can do some really neat things with that. And I think you just have to have more of a mindset of let's give them some information and make it look fun to store and give them some storage hints and things like that. So those are all fun things to do. And I guess, I've even asked my daughter for some help on Instagram. How can I put some stuff together on Instagram? And she's really good. She's like, oh, well, I can do that for you, Mom. So she does. Now, how about local marketing? If you've got a relationship with realtors or whatever local marketing that you're doing that may be on billboard, bulletin boards, you can have special numbers to actually track that. Your print media, anything if you would do a coupon, anything like that. But keep in mind, even rural towns, you may think, oh, well, I don't really have to do this. But if you really want to know what's going on, because number one, you may still be using the yellow pages and you may be able to downsize. So get some tracking numbers on those if you'd like to do that. So how about this dilemma that we have now is when you're looking at all your different marketing dollars, and this has really been true for all the time I've been in self-storage, but now it's so much easier when you can actually track a marketing campaign, because if you're really doing a good job in marketing, you have got to know information, and the information has got to be valid and to be able to know where to put those marketing dollars. And I'll give an example, because in the past in Hawaii, they have a double truck, which is a 2-page full of yellow page ad. We were spending $80,000 a year on that double truck ad. And so we were thinking, wow, how many people are we really getting from that ad? And could we possibly go down to 1 page or something smaller? And we found out very quickly that we needed a big ad because there were so many people. I think there were 13 double pages before ours. So we felt like we got lost if we did less, and we did when we tried to go back to something lower. The other thing when you're thinking about marketing is make sure all the employees are selling well and doing a good job at that. And I think that's mystery shopping is a great idea, and also getting customer feedback, because when you get feedback from customers, whether it's even the managers getting it, sometimes you may not like what they say, but the fact is that giving people an outlet to say something is important. So take that feedback and use it wisely. So this marketing numbers, some of the things that I've done are like theater ads and the Thrifty Nickel and the Dandy Dime, the Valpaks, door hangers, local marketing, and then my free move-in truck. Those are all things that I've used these special numbers for. And marketing is so expensive. And when you think about, okay, if I'm spending this much money on I'm spending, well, the trucks are about $700. That truck right there from Mr. Storall was about $750 a month. And we put the special tracking number on the truck so we would know when it was out and moving around how many rentals we got. And one of the ones I can remember vividly in my Sacramento store, We got 14 calls the very first month that truck had with its own tracking number, because we put a special wrap on it with the tracking number. And that is so amazing. I always believed that, yes, we get people, from any of that kind of advertising, but to know we absolutely got 14 calls this month from that. It's amazing. So if you do these expensive ads, like theater ads are expensive, but again, if you do it the right time of year, especially because summertime's a great time to do theater ads if you do those. And if, again, you can ask them to bring in the stub, but that doesn't, they don't always keep the stub. So if you have that special tracking number on there, that will help also. And, again, not everyone will necessarily call from that number, but you can certainly try, especially if you have a great location. So Valpak, wow, I've had really mixed feelings about Valpak over the years, because I've had some real successes with it, and I've had some that absolutely we didn't get one call from the Valpak. And again, those are, random. They don't go out all the time. They may be quarterly, they may be monthly, depending on how, you do it. But again, be careful about using those and make sure that you're following each campaign. Let's talk some more about these results. Know exactly which ads are going to lead to these phone calls. And we used to just rely on the managers, putting down on a checklist, saying how did the customer hear about us, and we did the new tenant questionnaires, but not all the customers fill them out properly, or they missed that number. And I know in the software, most of the software companies have where you have a questionnaire for the customer and you put in information. But again, that's not all very analytical, as far as if you want to be able to get the real facts and do something with it. If you're that analytical type, you're going to be saying, oh my gosh, I'm so frustrated because I really can't get accurate results. So especially these, like you do AdWords, the organic, the mobile, social media that you're doing, and for other types of offline campaigns, you're doing radio. I've had a lot of success in certain areas in radio and television, like Hawaii would be a good example. We had some really good response to our TV ad and some radio that we've done. So I think you don't really know how you're doing unless you're tracking these. Let me show you an example of some reporting, and this comes from the call tracking, and it'll tell you the number of calls. This is an actual customer of ours that got 172 calls off of this particular phone number, and then it shows your voicemails, your hang-ups, and the other. And I'm not really sure what the other is, and but anyway, I could find out that, but I really don't know actually. So that's a mystery to me. So now look at these as it's showing you your unique callers. If I could speak today, that would be even better, right? So 257 people only they called once, 34 people called twice, and 12 people called 3 times, and 6 people called 4 times. Now, I always look at the 6 times because sometimes they may be, or one person called 5 times. This may be friends calling. It may be a solicitor. So I disregard those. I look through who those people are and how long, and it'll tell you how long you're on the call and everything. So, and it'll also give you the leads per day. So you know by actual Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday what came in and how many are unique callers and then repeat callers. Now sometimes repeat callers, if maybe you have only a answering machine answering the phone, or you have your manager and then the machine getting it, and you don't roll over to a call center, and then what's going to happen is they may call twice. They may not leave a message and think, oh, I'll just call them back. And sometimes your regular customers get a hold of your numbers that are these marketing lead numbers, especially if you're using that on your website, and they'll call in again. But at least you'll know. Look at Sunday's a slow day, right? Look at Saturdays. Sometimes Saturdays are really very busy, but on this particular day it wasn't. So I really do love to get that feel of, and look how many people called on June 1st. And you may, we talk a lot about how often it's very common that the beginning of the month people have to move out of their, the place that they were, living in the apartment or whatever, so they'd like to move around the first of the month or something like that. So it'll help you keep track. Now here's a screenshot. Now we've kind of blocked, this is one of our clients, we've kind of blocked out some of the main information, but you can put the what's so important, I think, is the campaign in here, because if you are tracking, so I would put whether it's the Valpak or whatever campaign it is, so I know how many calls we've received from it. And it's so important to get this type of data. And not only do you, again, get it in the bar graphs and things like that, and this screenshot actually shows the recording of the call, so you can actually listen to every single call that's come in off of the these special numbers. And what I love about this, being in the mystery shopping business, we no longer have to have a fake caller come in or use someone that is, on our end fake, if you will. They're not really looking for storage, and we do train them and everything, but knowing your real callers are calling in and that you can listen to the calls and use those for customer service, ideas, to get an idea of how your people are doing on just service calls. These are customers who may just be getting your phone number and calling, and they've got some kind of problem, and you can listen to that. And again, we love this skill check because we take this information and that we evaluate these recordings, and they are your live customers, and it is amazing the difference. In fact, I have to say that years ago, when we took all of our stores and went to the call tracking and listening to these particular phone calls, my managers would commonly, on the mystery shopping with our shoppers out of our office, they would score 90 and above every single month. Well, once we started using real life customers that were in their market, that that were real life situations, and they didn't get that block caller number, their scores went down dramatically. I don't think maybe we had 2 out of I think at the time we had like 35 stores. We only had like 2 stores that scored above 90. And I was like, wow. I mean, it was a real eye-opener for me. And so I thought, okay, we're going to using these call tracking numbers for every sales evaluation. So where do we get these numbers? You can get these numbers at a lot of different sources, but we do have them at SkilCheck, and we really not only do we like using those, but we put our customers on, we give them a discount for using the mystery shopping and the call tracking numbers. These live sales calls are used for these employees evaluations, so it makes it so easy. And even non-SkilCheck customers can use the tracking numbers, and they're just wonderful. You don't have to be in the storage business, or you have other businesses that you use. It's a great thing to do. So thank you so much for attending this webinar, and I would love to extend, if you have any storage questions, email us your webinar suggestions, and we will certainly see if we can help you with that. In fact, we did one just a couple of days ago, on divorce. So you can use so many different topics, and I'm happy to, use any of those type of topics and help you with them. So you can contact me at carol@skillcheck.com. You can call the 1-800 number, or you can always get to our website, and you can find us there too. And thank you for attending.